What if you could build a business that gives you the life of freedom you deserve? What if you could find the secrets to marketing, leadership, customer service, and other aspects of business that help you exceed your goals? What if you could walk away from your business for 30 days and it never misses a beat? That's what this podcast is for, to help business leaders like you find freedom from the day-to-day grind and start spending your time doing the things you love. I'm Levi McClendon, and my co-host is Josh Taylor, and this is the Cheers to Freedom podcast.
Hey, welcome to the Cheers to Freedom podcast. I am Josh Taylor, and I am with my co-host, Levi McClendon. Levi, how are you doing?
Man, I'm doing really well. I'm a tiny bit stressed out. I got my whole family, the McClendon side, coming to my neck of the woods. We got 3 houses. I got like 30-something people coming, so we're doing an early Christmas celebration. So
don't you always have like 30-something people at your house?
Well, that's a good point. So I should be used to it by now, right?
Should be good. It's just different faces.
Exactly. So just trying to get caught up. We're going to have a good time. We'll take off for a few days and have a lot of fun down here. So yeah, other than that, man, doing really, really well. How about yourself? I'm
doing great. Getting ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
We got a lot of things that we're trying to knock out. We just got done with our C-suite retreat. So you, Nick, Jeremy, and I, we got together for a few days. I'm really excited about what came out of that. Again, we always get together and talk about our company, and we end up just spending most of our time talking about our customers. But
isn't that's what it's about, though, right?
It is.
And that's what we got to talk about, is how we can, for 2023, what are we going to be doing? What's it going to look like? You're right, man. We had a really good time. I think it was super productive, and we got a good plan going into next year. So I'm excited. It has been a busy week just trying to execute a lot of the things that we've been talking about, but I'm excited because it's things that, when you have a business, you spend a lot of time, working in the business and not working on the business. And some of these things are things that we're trying to do to communicate with our customers better, because we got a lot of new things that have rolled out this year that we just have kind of rolled out and trickled out secretly or slowly because we didn't want to flood everything. But now we're finally ready to reveal a lot of those things. And one of those things we're going to be talking about today, because we're going to have a pretty candid conversation. Yeah, absolutely. Nick said it quite a few times, our CTO. He said, we got to eat our own dog food, right? And I thought we could title, at some point, we should do a podcast called Eat Your Own Dog Food or something like that. But the point of that is, man, we teach our customers all these things, and we've been growing and growing very rapidly, and we've done a great job getting to where we're at today, but we haven't done an excellent job, right? We're here, it's good, but there's a lot more things that I know that we can do to implement to make better for our customers. So I'm really excited about that too, for next year. And so today we are going to have kind of a candid conversation, and that's, I think, because we get asked questions a lot, and I think we need to be a little more proactive in some of the things that we're doing.
Yeah. So there's one question that we've been getting asked from our customers over the last several months, and it's about the difference between us and a company called Rinsed that does a few of we kind of have some similarities in some ways, but we want to talk about what those similarities are and what those differences are, because there's some big differences. There's probably bigger differences between the two of us than there are similarities, and we want to talk about those differences and similarities and how they affect your business, and really how you can create a strategy using one or the other or both to build a thriving car wash.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's fair to say, and this is a candid conversation, because we want to be honest, but we're not going to, we don't like to company bash or competition bash. We've never had to do that. And I think there's enough business, Josh, in this space for everybody. I think it's a matter of educating yourself and where you're at as a company and what do you need, right? And so if we're able to kind of unwrap some of those differences and or similarities, we're hoping to help our customers and anyone else that's listening or watching this podcast so they can make a more educated decision with their business moving forward.
Yeah. And honestly, the reason why we have this conversation that we're having today, and the reason why we refer business to different companies, sometimes companies that are our competitors, is because we want our customers to be successful. If they're with us and they're not the right fit, or they're not getting the success that we know they could have by using an extra tool or another tool, we're not afraid to open up those channels of communication and start talking about it, because what matters to us is the success of our customers. And not only do we believe that when our customers are successful, we're successful, but we also believe that, companies don't get penalized for being generous. And we're generous to our customers as far as sharing information with, with who they could work with that would help them grow. And sometimes that bites us back a little bit, and sometimes, most of the time it works out great for us and our customers.
Well, I've just always been under the philosophy that, what goes around comes around. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And that's why even today, OptSpot, we don't have contracts. It's month to month. We want what's best for the customer. And like I said, man, there's enough business out there for everybody. And not everyone's going to love OptSpot. And that's okay, right? Not everyone's going to love Rinsed. And that's okay. Not everyone's going to love, the XYZ car wash. And that's okay. So find out the ones that do love you and pour into them and help them, exceed their expectations, help them thrive and become better businesses. And that's really what we want to do. So,
well, let's talk about first the similarities between us and Rinsed. Talk to me, and Rinsed a lot better than I do, and what they do. So talk to me about what those similarities are between the two companies.
Yeah, absolutely. And first of all, just, listen, I've only really talked to Austin. He's I think he is the founder of Rinsed. I don't know if he has a partner. I know he has some partners or whatnot, but as far as just who they are as a company, man, they're a great company. They brought some really good things into the space. They've done a really good job from what I understand. And at the time of this recording, I'm going to disclose and share some things that I know Rinsed to be. And maybe they've developed other things. Maybe they've changed. Maybe we have. But as of December 14th, 2016, by the way, happy birthday to my son, Walker.
2016. You living in the past.
That's when Walker was born. So he is 6 years old today. Sorry, 12, 14, 16. 12, 14, 16. That's when he was born. So that's easy to remember. But anyway, happy birthday to my son, Walker. And so he was born 6 years ago today. So as of today, 12, 14, 22, I'm going to make him listen. Okay. As of the time of this recording, right, the things that we'll talk about today are the way they are, and they could have changed as we all evolve and change. But as far as kind of the companies go, Josh, just real quick, and I don't want to spend a ton of time on this because I want people to be able to get to the point here. But I would say when people explain Rinsed versus OptSpot, because we've had this conversation, I would say you kind of have a spectrum here, right? You got Rinsed over here and OptSpot over here, and they're really data driven, right? They hired, my understanding, a dozen engineers, took on some, money, I think like $12 million that's on their website or something, to really grow in that space, being data-driven company, CRM, like client relationship management. They're able to really dive into the APIs of DRB and Sunny's and ICS and these point-of-sale systems that, companies that haven't, as we've all known, they don't do a great job of allowing you to get to that data. And then you have over here marketing, right? So you have OptSpot, and we're really heavily into text message marketing. Like that's our deal. I've been doing text message marketing for like 15 years. That's why we got into the business. That's what we're doing. And now we've been adding things on that have benefited the car wash space. So you got Rinsed, you got OptSpot, and then like in the middle, there's some overlap. And so some of that overlap are some of the things that we're doing, the similarities that Rinsed is doing, which it has to do with database, right? It has to do with being able to engage and communicate with, let's just talk about the DRB API real quick, right? So with DRB, what Rinsed did was come on and say, hey, we're going to utilize the APIs from DRB, and we're going to be able to make a better mousetrap. We're going to be able to take people from online, right? Get them to online and have them sign up for a membership much easier and much cleaner, which is awesome. We've been preaching that forever. Like there needs to be online conversions. People need to be able to buy memberships online. So they did a great job connecting with those APIs and making that happen. They also will send a text message for the churn where they're trying to reduce or help to reduce the involuntary churn. They can send a text with a link. You click the link. All a customer has to do is input a credit card number. Man, that's awesome. That's genius. That's going to really help to reduce that involuntary churn when a credit card actually declines. They're able to help move somebody up or down a plan in the back, in the back office without actually getting a customer service rep involved. So those are some of the things that having that API. Well, because our customers, and again, that's not our forte, like that's not what we focus on, but we have such great relationships with our customers. They really wanted us to obviously do something similar. So, most recently we got the API from the customers that have their DRB API, and we've literally done the same thing. So we're able to, send the text, sign people up online, move somebody up or down a plan, do the manage my plan page. And so that's awesome that we do that. It's not something I get super excited about. I'll be honest. I get excited about the marketing side, the messaging side, and that's just where we've had to come to be able to provide that to our customers. So if you look at those similarities, that's pretty similar, right? That's going to take the data and make it happen. Now, where Rinsed does a better job, in my opinion, on taking that data today, they have really nice dashboards. They're able to come in and show you how many people they sent to and how many people updated their card and how much money that they're saving you. So good for them that they did that. Those are things that we're working on that we need to show that value. We know it's happening, but they're doing a good job showing, actually showing that value. So again, they're more database driven. We're more marketing driven. We definitely meet in the middle. Do they do, texting and email? They do, but they're going to have the platform where they're coming in and saying, hey, we have the email platform you can utilize. Here's your SMS. This is an add-on. You're able to use the SMS to communicate with your customers and do marketing. And so they're kind of, again, that's not their forte. It's not what they're eat, breathe, sleep like we do, but they offer it. So if somebody wants to, it's more of a do-it-yourself model. And so with OptSpot, of course, our big deal is doing it for you. So we come in, build your custom campaigns, your drip campaigns, have the referral program. We're helping you with your reviews. There's a lot of things that we're doing there because that is like our bread and butter. That's what we do, is the marketing piece. And we spent a lot of time and money and effort trying to be the best in the space at that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So where I see it is, Rinsed has some of the tools that we have. They have these dashboards that are really easy to see the numbers and understand the information. And they have a platform where you can send emails and you can send text to your customers. The difference is we build all of that out for you. And you and I and Jeremy really spend a lot of time reading and researching. In fact, we spend thousands of dollars to go to different marketing conferences and things to learn, so that we can improve the marketing side of things. And then and we go with our customers in mind. Like you and I went to ClickFunnels in Orlando this last year, spent thousands of dollars to be there to learn. And the whole time we're just thinking about our customers and how can we help our customers implement this. And so it really is this done for you model, because most of our customers, they are running a business. They're running the day to day. They don't have time to build out these campaigns. They don't have time to figure out what kind of text is going to get my customer to push the link and buy something, to take an action. And so that's what we spend a lot of time reading and researching and writing. I mean, you hired me on as a StoryBrand certified guide because you felt like that framework was something that was really going to benefit the customers, and we've seen it do that. So, if I were a customer of OptSpot and I said, you know what, I am thinking about going with Rinsed, should I keep OptSpot or not? What would your answer be?
Yeah, it really depends on where they're at in their business, right? So I have actually referred some business to Rinsed because they've done a great job of being able to, again, access that data for some of the point of sale system companies that we don't have access to. For instance, ICS, we don't have access to the APIs. And I would love access. If anyone's listening out there from ICS or can get us a connection there, have some pull with ICS, let us know. But that's been challenging, and that's good for Rinsed. I know they have a connection there, and they were able to get that. So with OptSpot customers, the fact that we can now work with them, for instance, if you are an ICS customer and you have signed up somebody on a new membership, we work with Rinsed so that as soon as they sign up for membership, Rinsed can send to us that new member data, right? Which is what we need, that because we have that really good member retention campaign that is automated, and we want to keep those members coming in, let them know about their amenities, things like that. So right now, as it stands, ICS customers have to export their list and import into OptSpot. So it's a little bit manual. They have to do that for their new members, and they have to do that for their credit card declines. Well,
but
with
it's a
Rinsed,
pretty simple process.
It's very simple. It takes just a few minutes just to run your report, export it, put it into our system. So it's really not rocket science, but it is something you have to do. So with Rinsed, they've automated that process. So now when somebody signs up for that new membership, like I said, they send it to us. We will take the customer out of marketing. You want to take them out of that marketing drip campaign, drop them into that new member campaign, because that's super important to make sure that they are a part of that retention campaign. As we've talked about in other podcasts and episodes and at the Cheers Freedom Summit, retention is huge. You've got to keep people coming back into your wash, and you've got to keep them on longer. And that's something else that OptSpot's really, really good at. We're really good at putting the messaging in, bringing them back, putting in loyalty programs. But without the data, right, it's harder to do. So Rinsed will make that a little bit easier, number one. And number two, with ICS, gosh, if you do the churn, if you want to reduce involuntary churn, when you send that text out, we do this. We'll send a text, but it says, hey, come by the office for us to update your credit card, because they have a terrible online portal for customers to update their credit card. Well, with Rinsed right now, and you know, hey, we may lose some business from ICS, but I doubt it's okay. Again, we want this to be best experience for the customer. Rinsed will send a text with a link that they can literally click on and update their credit card. So that is a better solution, a better system for that. But if you were to say, you know, again, so that to me, if you want dedicated marketing, you want to grow your customers to your car wash, you want to retain them longer, give them those messages, that is the core of OptSpot, right? We do the turn the churn. We help with involuntary churn with the other POSs and with ICS. But again, if you're one of those point of sale systems that we can't do that, then yes, I would say, hey, go with Rinsed, and we'll work well together. We have no problem working together. So that's where I would say working together would be great. And if you know, you're a company with like DRB that we do it for you now, I'd say, hey, there's really no reason to do both. I would say, you know, OptSpot can now handle pretty much everything. We do everything that Rinsed does now that we have the APIs to DRB. So does that help?
So, yeah. So it sounds like, you know, with OptSpot, we're a marketing company. Rinsed is more of a data company. And especially in today's society and in the economic climate that we're in, and a lot of our customers are beginning to feel this, and I don't think they're, you know, I think they're feeling it some. I think there's more fear because of what we're reading and things like that their customers are going to stop showing up. They're going to begin to lose money and these kind of things. And what we've seen is a lot of our customers have not felt that impact. And the reason is because they're still doing marketing. They didn't freeze in a recession and cut all the budgets and cut marketing is like the last thing. In fact, in a recession, marketing is probably the thing that you need to start amping up, because you've got to stay in front of those customers. You've got to remind them that you're there, because you're not top of mind. You're not the thing that they wake up thinking about, you know, I'm going to go get my car washed today. But you can get on that to-do list if you were staying in front of them and staying on marketing. And that's what OptSpot does. Rinsed might give you a tool to send out a text, but at the end of the day, you still have to do that yourself, where OptSpot is doing that for you. We're automating that. You don't even have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. You know, your customers, your business is getting in front of your customers, and you can sleep well at night knowing that.
Well, and you want to automate, right, Josh? I mean, if we, you know, that's kind of making money in your sleep, right? When you can automate and know that the system's working in the background, that is huge. And even if you lose customers during this recession, and when I say customers, I'm talking about members, right? If someone says, we need to save right now or whatnot, by having them in that marketing drip campaign, they are still your customer. And when the time is right for them to sign up again, isn't that going to be important for you to be the one that's communicating, understanding, keeping your message in their pocket, so when they're ready to sign back up, they're coming back to you? And I think that's critical that people understand that today, that just, you know, coming in, we talk about filling your funnels, right, with phone numbers, because the value from 10 to 30 bucks we're seeing, I mean, there's this huge value in those phone numbers. Not everyone is going to sign up for membership. So keep them coming back, though. Keep them coming more often. And again, that's where we feel like we're able to really, you know, give direction, hold our customers' hands with that on-site, you know, the signage, the off-site stuff, the fundraising programs, all those things that we have. It's really just to generate as big of member database list that you can, so that you can, continue to be successful in your wash.
Well, and it's important to have a simple way for people to make a purchase on your website. If they want to go buy, I think a lot of sales are being lost on websites because the POS systems have not made their e-commerce side of things really simple and user friendly for the customer. And so Rinsed can come in and help. And with DRB customers, we can now do that. And I feel like we've really created pretty aesthetically pleasing because we put some design work into this. But that doesn't do you any good if you're not getting people there. You could have a great looking website, but if you don't have a way to drive people there using marketing, all it's doing is wasting your money.
Well, and I was going to say, who cares if you have the ability to send a text when a credit card even declines or whatnot, if you don't have customers? You've got to first, so like priority is customers, right? Get people in the database, get them in your washes. And now, yes, having the ability to keep them current with their credit cards and stuff is huge. But you can't do it in reverse. You can't say, hey, I'm going to implement this and not have my customers. You've got to have the customers. You got to have them coming in and keep your marketing funnels flowing. And that'll continue to drive, to drive that traffic, which, like you said, the online, Josh, I'm so surprised that it's still not even better today. I feel like, in the next, who knows, hopefully the next 2, 3, 4 years, that this process even gets better. It's easier. I think with LPR, license plate recognition, you're going to see better signups where I can sign up with my phone in seconds, enter my license plate, and then I don't have to go to the pay station and enter my credit card again and go through that process. To me, that's ridiculous. I should be able to sign up on my phone. When I pull up to the pay station, it should recognize my car, that I'm a member, and I should be able to go right through. And that is happening now with LPR. And who knows what's in the future, whether it's the LPR or NFC chips. If there's there's all kinds of other technology, and even I don't even want to get into that, but I see this progressing definitely in the next several years. So you need to be prepared for that.
So let me ask you this, and I don't know how much you want to talk about this or not, but one of the biggest difference is pricing. So talk to us about the differences in pricing.
Yeah, I won't get too deep into the pricing because, again, at the time of this recording, it is what it is. So I do know this. I think when I talked to Austin about this, and hopefully he doesn't kill me for this, but he, I said, hey, what if we have customers? We talked about if we have customers that want to work with Rinsed and OptSpot, is it possible to get a discount? And I think that would be fair, right? If they're going to do maybe the churn, I don't know what they call it exactly, but we'll call it churn burner, which, well, I think that's what Sud's called there. So anyway, reducing churn, right? Involuntary churn. And then they're going to do marketing on our side. Then there should be some type of a discount there. And I think he was open to that. So I think if there's customers that want to do both, that's something that we should probably look at. And then as far as the ongoing based off of online memberships, we do not charge anything for that. So if we set up with DRB right now,
success tax.
Yeah, no success tax coming from OptSpot. So if you're implement this with DRB right now, and we get people to your website and they sign up for membership, we don't charge any type of fee or ongoing fee for that success that you're going to have. Just the monthly subscription fee that we have with OptSpot. And right now, there's gonna be a bump in the price for the API integration. It's not very much. Right now, I think it's like $99 a month per location to get you that Ultimate Plus package, which is great. Again, at the time of this recording. And then next, Josh, we're looking at Sunny's as well. So we're working with the APIs right now with Sunny's to do the exact same thing. And then again, I'd love to do this with ICS, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. But I feel very confident with Sunny's because they have now opened their APIs as well, which we've been pushing on them for years. I mean, since we've been in the space, I've been like, why is it so hard to sell a plan, number one, but number two, to update a dang credit card? People want to give you money to stay
Don't make it hard.
Current. Quit making it so dang hard. So I think they're getting the messages. They're opening some APIs. They're doing some good things, and I so I'm excited to be able to work with those Sunny's customers as well.
Yeah, and of course, those of you that work with us and work with OptSpot, that our level of customer service is a priority. We try to keep it top notch. we treat every customer, whether you have 100 locations or you have one location, you're as important as one another, as the other. And so we work hard for our customers, and that's one of the reasons why we're doing this. It's one of the reasons why we're doing the API stuff. We didn't really want to go down that hole, but we knew that this is probably what's going to be best for our customers. If we can get people to their websites and then make their customers giving them money easy,
yeah,
everybody wins. And so that's what we want to do. And so we've been a problem solving company. We just figure out what are the problems in the space and how can we solve it. And we've gotten really creative in how we do it. And we're continuing to get more creative. We've got a lot of cool things rolling out in 2023 that we're excited about. This one being the top priority. We're really excited about this DRB API, and then Sunny's coming out right after that. And I think that those of you that are listening, if you're interested, we'd really love to hear back from you. Comment or shoot us an email and say, hey, I'd really love to hear more about this, and we'd love to share more with you.
The awesome thing is, Josh, is the car wash owner operator wins in all of this. When you have competition in a space, it makes people better. It has made OptSpot better. We are getting better, and we're going to be better. So you guys can thank companies like Rinsed and Suds and those companies for that, right? Because it makes you step up your game. And we have no problem stepping up our game, right? We want to. We're competitive. We want to step in there, and we want to provide the best experience. And again, if we're not, then we're not going to be afraid to say, hey, I can't do this right now, or this isn't our forte. You need to go with this company B. Go for it. Like, again, whatever is best for you guys. We're doing our best. We have some other things that we want to roll out this year. And again, we're not going to disclose all those right now, but I'm very excited about them. And again, I think that the competition is good. It's made us better. I'm sure it's made Rinsed better and some of these other companies. And again, the people that benefit will be the car wash owners and operators. And so hopefully this episode has been beneficial. We get that question a lot. And so maybe this has confused you or made things easier, I hope. But definitely, like Josh said, reach out, leave us some comments, questions, shoot us emails. We'd be happy to obviously answer any questions that you have. And would love to, if you're not a customer, would love to get you on board.
Awesome. Well, great episode. Hey, if you are not subscribed already, subscribe to our YouTube channel and also text cheers to 411-365. Cheers to 411-365. That's going to be really important over in 2023, because as we roll out some of these new features, we want you to be the first to know about it. And that's going to be one of the ways that we let you know about it. So and anytime a new episode drops, we make sure that you have easy access to listen to that while you're in your car or sitting in your office or hanging out in the tunnel spraying off cars, whatever it might be. So text cheers to 411-365. Levi, thanks for a more candid conversation, and hopefully people understand our heart and know that we love our customers, and we love doing what's best for our customers. And that means sometimes building things that are hard to build, but we're going to do it anyway.
Absolutely. Hey, it's been good. Josh, I'm not sure if we're doing another episode before Christmas, if we're going to be off. So if not, Merry Christmas to all of our customers and just those that are out there listening to this. Hope you guys have very, very successful Merry Christmas to you all. Appreciate your business.
All right.
All right. Until next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.